Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Hey guys, yes, the minute of silence is now over. Let's take on the news of Star Wars The Old Republic patch 5.3, class changes with the Corruption Sorcerer and the Seer Sage. Is it really possible, just like I wrote in my article yesterday, that a whole discipline can become extinct just in a single patch worth of time? Let's take a look at, for example, because I'm more familiar with the Republic terms, what's happening to the Sage overall and specifically to the Seer discipline, which is the healing discipline for the Sages. First, the global nerfs, and yes, they're all nerfs, reduce the amount of healing done by benevolence with about 5%. I really have to say that I absolutely adore that Bioware is now stating exact percentages, 4.86. It's not a slightly nerfed or slightly lowered or we've boosted that by a medium amount. No more this crap. We got exact percentages now, and I really hope that these will be also part of the patch notes. All of the changes that I'm about to preview for you guys are still exactly that, preview. They may change because the patch is scheduled to release sometime in July, and I'm recording this at the end of June, obviously. Roughly about one day after Bioware released these upcoming changes. So if you seriously dislike what you're about to hear, go to the official forums and complain, but be reasonable. Just saying that I don't like these nerfs doesn't work. So let's keep reading. Increase the balance force cost of Rejuvenate from 40 to 50 and the amount of healing done by its initial heal by 10.59%, but reduce the amount of healing done by the healing overtime. Sage actually and Sorcerer have never been supposed to be strong with healing overtime. They are reaction healers that heal for static amount of HP once at a time. Reduce the amount of damage absorbed by force armor by 5.3%. I don't know if this 5.3 will really have any impact in PvE, but I can tell you that this is quite a nerf for the PvP environment where actually the force armor does work and is helpful. Yep, probably for nightmare operations as well, but the amount of players within the community that still do nightmare level operations are far too dwindling and far too small in numbers. So those that are still left doing the nightmares, they probably wouldn't miss the 5.3%. Let's check out the specific healing nerfs. I have to say, because I've already read them, of course, several times to get myself familiar, this is the first time since Bioware started sharing with us the upcoming potential changes to all of the classes. This is the first time we see direct nerfs to active ability. So far, we've seen passive abilities from the left side from the discipline tree being nerfed, and of course that applies to active abilities. But for the first time here with the Seer Sage and Corruption Sorcerer, we are seeing direct and big also nerfs in terms of active abilities. Let's check them all out. Increase the base force cost of Deliverance from 45 to 50 and the amount of healing it does by 3.4%. Reduce the amount of healing done by Healing Trance with 8.7%. Reduce the amount of healing done by Salvation with 10%, round number. Increase the base force cost of Wandering Mant from 65 to 70 and reduce the amount of healing it does by 25%. Double nerf to one ability. Conveyance now reduces the activation time of Deliverance by 0.25 seconds instead as it was half a second. And also the force cost of Salvation by 20% instead of 30%. All the other effects from Conveyance remain the same. Reduced the amount of healing done by Renewal with 14.3%. Erudite, I don't know if I read that correctly, please let me know in the comments. Erudite Mender no longer increases the healing done by Wandering Mant by 5%, but it still reduces its force cost. Reduce the healing done by Soothing Protection by 5.3%. Force Warden now makes Healing Trance channel 10% faster, down from 20% faster, yet another nerf. Yep, as I've told in the beginning, it's very possible that a huge amount of players will just switch to another class, but before we check the dev note and why exactly Bioware is doing these things, let me tell you that They're all being done in accordance to a target HPS mark that Bioware has placed for all of the 3 different types of healers at level 70. Is it possible? We've all been complaining for 1 year, maybe some of us have been complaining for multiple years, that the game has been gradually becoming easier and easier with every next patch and expansion. Could it be the fact that because we haven't received class balance in quite a long time, so could it be that all 3 healers are overperforming or performing, in other words, way better than the target mark for their level 70 measurement as Bioware wants them to be? So is it possible that in the coming days or weeks we will see the other 2 healing classes nerfed as well? It may not actually be the sages and the sorcerers that are being brought down to the ground and below it, but maybe overall the whole healing in the game is going to become more challenging, which actually I welcome. So now let's take a look at the dev note and what the combat team from Bioware has to say about these changes. Why are they required? The slight force cost increases for Rejuvenate and Deliverance, and the reducing of the cost reduction for Salvation provided by Conveyance were necessary to keep force management from being completely trivial at low levels of force. These cost increases allowed an anomaly for Deliverance and Rejuvenate, in that they both saw at least partial increases to their healing output, while all other healing abilities saw a decrease. The changes to Wandering Mant remove it from normal single target healing usage. It still remains a valuable heal when more than one target requires healing, or when combined with Conveyance in single target healing situations, where the target simply will not survive if forced to wait for a heal with an activation time. The rest of the changes for Corruption Sorcerers and Sage Seers all have one singular goal: wrangling their HPS, heals per second, down to the healing target while maintaining the Corruption Seer playstyle, which players have become familiar with throughout the last year at least. So yeah, basically Bioware is confirming what I was thinking and what I partially said a few minutes ago. The Sages are receiving a huge healing nerf because they're healing way better than what the target is supposed to be for them. And because all the 3 types of healing classes are in one group, or in one grouping as Bioware says, that means that probably the other 2 healers will also receive nerfs. Slightly better or slightly worse nerfs we're about to see very soon, hopefully. Tell me, what do you think? Is it really possible that for you, the Seer and the Corruption will become an extinct discipline in 5.3? What do you think Bioware needs to change from these upcoming changes? That's weird, I know. In order to make the Sage really good. In my opinion, the healing nerfs are way over the board. If the same thing is happening to the other 2 healers, then it's fine. But on their own, Sages are being nerfed way too much. It's not the healing output that makes them strong specifically in PvP, because in PvE, honestly, I've never noticed the Sages being overpowered. Ever since those legendary days when heal to full was a fact in the game. Never mind. In my personal opinion, it's the tools that the Sages have, the passive and active abilities that allows them to survive. Because the longer you survive in PvP specifically, while performing your job, which is keeping the others alive and healing them, the stronger your class is supposed to be. How do you balance that? It's not just by making them survive longer, but unable to heal. I think something like that is about to happen to the Arsenal Mercenary and Gunnery Commando, which I discussed in another video a few days ago. They also received a huge DPS nerf, while the defensive cooldowns are almost left untouched. It's your turn, guys. Let me know here. What do you think? Do you think the changes are too much? What would you have done if you were in Bioware's place? And are you willing to continue playing your favorite Sage healer or Sorcerer healer if these changes, just as we saw them right now, go to the live servers in July? Thank you for joining me for yet another video. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Click the like button and help me out. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge.